What's up guys, here is Tiago and Julinha again with an online tutorial for you. Today we have an advanced movement for you guys and girls that like to do advanced stuff. This is a very interesting movement. You may think you know it, but it's actually a little bit different what most of the people are doing on the dance floor.
So we have a variation of a movement that's a classic, I would say, nowadays.
Yes.
But we changed up some stuff, so it's going to be even more interesting, especially for the followers, also for the leaders, because there's quite some change of head movement going on, and we will show you what we're going to do.
Always when you get advanced movement like this, we always like to first see what are the basics, the foundation movements that we use to do some other advanced stuff. And the basic, the foundation movement that we use today is the inverse bonus. So you know inverse bonus, probably like this. We can walk back to the line and go back to the basic step.
So this is the bonus where I turn to the right and I start on my right leg.
Right? Now we're gonna hijack the bonus. You may see, for example, William Paloma loves to do this movement, and we're gonna do the bonus and I'm gonna hijack and stop her, blocking her. So that's the basic. That's not our basic pattern anymore. There's already advanced, but that's a movement that a lot of people know and do it already. That's gonna be the beginning of our step. We may explain in a hush way what's gonna be, and then we're gonna give you more details. So the first thing is the hijack bonus. We're gonna hijack the bonus. I'm gonna stop her here, and I'm gonna start now with a rotisserie turn. A lot of people do this already. We're gonna start here a rotisserie turn. I'm gonna let her turn, and I'm gonna stop with a head prep, kind of a lunge, and then I'm gonna send her with a tilted bonus to the other side. I'm gonna hijack again, and here we start to differentiate from the other movements. Now, I'm just not gonna stop straight, but I wanna here keep the circular head movement going on so I can bring her again to the rotisserie turn, and we're gonna loop this forever. So I'm gonna keep the circular head movement and bring her back. Tilted, circular head movement, and bring her back instead of stopping straight and bringing her back. So that's the quite small difference, but awesome difference on this pattern.
So this makes the whole movement more flowy, especially for the followers. So especially for the followers, if you see an advanced movement, especially with head, if you want to analyze the movement to see what you're doing, I would always try to search for 3 keys. Number 1, where is your direction in comparison to the leader? So for us right now, we're using this line. And we could do differently, but for this variation we're using this line, I stay in this line and I turn back in this line. Also with the head, I'm staying in this line, turning back on the line, turning the same way, and so on. Okay?
So she's always there, and we are moving between these 2 dimensions. Okay, I'm on the sideline, I'm gonna cross and step over her line, so I am on the other side. So I'm actually not stepping on her line. I'm crossing, crossing, crossing.
And I stay all the time here. Then the second thing you want to analyze is which kinds of head movements are you doing. So as Tiago already said, we entered here to start with, and now we go into a rotisserie turn, which means my head will now point towards Tiago and it will stay here with my axis. I will go into the extension, and here Tiago is going to change. Here we have half a circular until I arrive on my left side, and we change again. Tilted head, tilted turn. And here, half circular to the right, and we come back with the rotisserie. So we combine rotisserie, circular, and tilted.
Yes.
Okay? And then maybe...
Yeah, for you guys that know us and saw a lot of demo from us, you may know this pattern, and it's actually the same movement as this one. Almost the same movement as this one. So we do this a lot in our demos, and that's actually almost the same idea that we are using now on this other pattern, right? So remember, on the hijack already, when I hijack here, I want to keep contact with my forearm on her shoulder blade lines, okay? I'm not too far down, okay? I try to be here on the shoulder blade lines. And when I do this, I'm opening her chest and my chest. So I'm actually going for this feathering, and I'm opening my chest and her chest. So we have here, as soon as her back cross my path, I have the contact and I have a slightly suspension. So I go up, and now here I can go down and feather.
So for the followers, especially for the feet, what we're doing, we don't know what's going on, so we think it's normal bonus. But here on the right leg, the leader is going to stop us, and I try to have a little, very slight resistance with my left arm, doesn't matter if straight or bent. And now I try to stay on my right leg until the leader decided to release the suspension and bring me down on my left leg. On the left leg, you can keep your heel up or down, doesn't matter. Just make sure you're here in a little plie, so you have enough energy from the ground to go back now.
Yeah, we can go back, for example, with simple bonus. All right? Remember not to go very fast to this position already, followers, because a lot of things can happen. So this tension that Julia said is so important. When we create this tension here, we can do so many things. She can stay there. I can go for a counterbalance and then do the movement. If you go automatically on this position just because you think, oh, I saw Paloma do this, I'm gonna do the same thing, it's not gonna help.
Wait on your right leg until you know where the leader is going to position your left leg.
Right. So now we can go to the pattern itself, right? So the first time I'm gonna go straight. I'm gonna go to my side step and then cross and then open her here. So here we are on the extension already, and I'm gonna use, for me it feels like a wave. I'm open, thank you Julia, I'm open, and now I'm gonna tilt to my left and go back to my side. So I'm doing like a half circle here, right? I'm going back. So you see that I'm doing this movement, it's like a judo, but I'm not gonna throw Julia on the floor.
Thank you.
All right, I'm tilting to my left, and this hand is coming in this half circle, so I can help with this hand and with this arm and with my chest to understand that this is a rotisserie turn.
So followers, for us, we have been here in a normal upright position. My chest is already open because Tiago opened it for me, and now I'm going to transfer my weight to my left with my open chest, and then I incline to my left side. Okay, how do you feel this? So in the normal turns, we always have our frame here, and this frame would move around my axis, which would normally be here. Now, as we're doing a rotisserie turn, what's going on is that the circle is not continuing here, but in this plane area. So we're going here, this way we're going to rotate, because now my axis is no longer upright, but my axis is turning towards Tiago diagonally. So he needs to draw this plane from my halo. Okay?
Yes. So I'm gonna open my base here. I'm gonna tilt, and now I'm gonna open my base, keep circling with my arm, so the left arm goes down, the right arm goes up, and now I pivot already on my left foot, so I can step and cross with the right and keep bringing her to her extension, finishing with this lunge on her left side and on my right side.
So followers, how are you turning? From here, we're only doing half turn, half turn, half turn. So I'm half, half. Now that Tiago's opening me, try to still keep your axis. Try not to be too fast. So I'm still keeping my head towards this side. I'm going into the extension, and only when we arrive now into the lunge on our left side is when I'm tilting to my left. Before, I was still in the rotisserie.
I do a small suspension so I can land on my lunge. And now from here, you see that I did this path. I just gonna come back using this rotation to lead her on the bonus. So I go back, just transfer my weight back, take my foot off the way, and then put it back there. You see that I'm leading her the whole time on the same position. Her head is here, and it's gonna continue there.
So now, as we talked before, now we're not doing a rotisserie turn, but a tilted turn. So my head stays here, as Tiago just said, and my axis is going to be here again. So leaders, now you have to draw again this halo in this plane. Yeah. But be aware, her axis is not where her head is. It's here, in between shoulder and head. And he's turning this hand around and keeping the contact with his right arm on my upper arm.
So you see that the hand is going over her head and then my head. Boom. And then we arrive here for her on her left side. Now I'm gonna do what I said about the wave. Now I'm gonna keep going. I have a tilt to my right. This is gonna lead her to her contraction, and I lead my extension. You see? And then I lead her to her side. So now I can get out of the way and start all over again. So remember, because we are not on the same position, we are doing different movements, but I'm gonna lead her anyway. I'm going to my right and I'm leading her contraction. I'm going to my extension and I'm leading her tilt. So I can get out of the way with her head on the extension.
So followers, I don't know if you could see very well, but as soon as I reach this position, I'm still here from my tilted turn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close the chest and go to the right. Now the crown of my head, if you observe the position of my head, is already in the position for the next rotisserie turn. The axis is going to stay where Tiago is, and then I arrive in a rotisserie turn and so on.
You see, guys, that my left foot stay on the same spot and I'm just moving my right leg. I go back and forth with this right leg, okay? And I open this window here up. Look, I'm gonna open, when I send her to my right side, I open this window and then I just go with my wave, with my snake, whee, here, so I can lead her circular head movement. Open the window and go. And then to get out, you can use just a normal tilted turn to get out. And boom.
So 2 general tips for the followers for this movement, but also for other movements. Number 1, we're going to stay in the line all the time. So it doesn't matter if I do a rotisserie turn or tilted turn. I'm always turning half, 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 and back, back, back. All the time in the line, traveling spin, okay? And the second tip for this movement, as well as for many others, try to stay slow with your head. Don't go up immediately, especially if you're already an advanced dancer. I would prefer to stay a little bit longer in the head movement when in doubt, instead of going out too fast, okay? So this is not a tip for beginners. But for the advanced people, especially in the end of this movement, so we're here, I would expect to go up on the other side. I would expect to go up. So try to be a bit slow, and then you can feel that he's changing here and already bringing your head in the position for the rotisserie turn.
And because this is so well-known movement that normally they would come here up, you need as a leader to be very precise. So once she's arriving there, you cannot give it a chance that she may think that it's this pattern. So when you are here, she's arriving there and you are arriving with your weight transfer, you start this wave and start leading the contraction so she can understand that this is something new and not this old same pattern. I think we said everything.
I think this is it. If you have questions, you can write comments down below. You can send us an email, Instagram, Facebook. We have everything.
You can write a letter if you want.
Love letters as well.
Remember to practice this a lot. Record yourself and tag us on social media. You can tag Tiago Movimentos, Julinha Johan, or Brazilian Dance Cologne. And we want to see you guys practicing. And please asking questions so we can see what happened there and maybe you create something different. This was actually a mixed idea that we had with one of our students. We were in a boot camp and we showed something, he showed something different, and then we create something different on top of that. So we are very anxious to see what you guys gonna create.
If you have new ideas what to add to this movement, go for it. So props to Justus. He's very
Yes.
creative. If you have the chance to dance with him, do so.
If you like it, remember to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, to follow us, and please share this online tutorial so people can see our work, and maybe you're gonna be there in your city, in your country, teach you live.
Okay, so see you next time, hopefully in real life.
Bye
Bye bye.